There's a startling new report showing how out of control the deadly opioid epidemic has gotten in our country. It finds that in 2015, nearly 92 million American adults used a prescription opioid. Incredibly, that's nearly a third of all adults. On this week's edition of Today's Health, we learned that over 11 million reported misusing opioids and nearly 2 million said they were addicted. We get more now on this staggering crisis from NBC's Ann Thompson.
Opioid abuse in the United States is at epidemic levels.
This is probably the worst drug situation in our country in decades, if not a century.
Nearly 40% of Americans use opioids to manage pain, reports the federal government study, with deaths more than quadrupling between 1999 and 2015. Mike and Lynn Belisle are living the statistics, raising their 3 grandchildren.
It's what happens when you make bad choices.
Their daughter, Heather Kelsey, and her husband, Daniel, found dead on the side of a Florida road New Year's Eve from an overdose. Their son strapped in car seats in the back. Most likely to misuse opioids, those with low incomes, the unemployed, and underinsured.
There are people at risk for not having full access to health care. So we think that's part of a clue here, is that better access to full pain treatments might do a good job in helping to reduce these serious problems.
Surprising the researchers, almost half of those who misuse opioids get them from family and friends. Warren and Marcia Gintis will tell the story of their son Drew's addiction and death tomorrow night in a documentary on WRAL-TV, our Raleigh, North Carolina station.
You're just totally numb. I mean, life just drains from you. You don't have a reaction.
It just stops.
You know, it just stopped.
Drew's opioid odyssey started when the high school wrestler separated his shoulder.
Are opioids the easy answer when it comes to pain management?
I think we've found that physicians are all too comfortable in writing prescriptions for opioids.
Time to look for better ways to help America manage pain. Ann Thompson, NBC News, New York.
In other health news this morning, your birthplace could impact your risk of dementia. Researchers at Kaiser followed over 7,000 adults living in California, but were born in other areas of the country. People from states with high rates of stroke death, mostly in the South, were more likely to develop dementia than those from other regions. African Americans born in stroke belt states had the highest risk of dementia. A new study reveals the Mediterranean diet lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease, but not for everyone. Italian researchers say only the upper class reaps health benefits from the diet, which is high in nuts, grains, and fish, and low in red meat and dairy. They found wealthier and more educated people ate higher quality foods and a greater variety of fruits and vegetables than others following the Mediterranean diet. That's it for this week's edition of Today's Health, and coming up on KPVI News Today, we take a look at your KPVI News Today headlines.